My neon sign says open. Who's looking me over? Looking me over. If I try enough, would you feel my missing piece? I can't understand why I misunderstand my own desire. If I carry on in what I know is wrong, the colors bleeding. You understand the heart of me. You know the deepest part of me. You got some kind of technical love. I carry all my flaws, you see, but you never run away from me. You got some kind of technical love. How will I know when a heart is golden? If all I seem to do is circle my mistakes. I never understood how I misunderstood. I can be desired. I can't comprehend being alone again. The colors bleeding. You understand the heart of me. You know the deepest part of me. You got some kind of technical love. I carry all my flaws, you see, but you never run away from me. You got some kind of technical love.
Benjamin, stop it. Look at all these humans in the house today. We've got Jeremy and Missy and Benjamin and Anissa. Hi.
Hi.
And then Matthew. And me.
And Matthew.
The usual.
I feel that way about myself right now.
Matthew, I love you so much.
Yeah.
We're all like, ooh. Meanwhile, Matthew's like, no, it's fine, guys. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's good to see y'all. We just wanted to say hi. Welcome to Sojourn. If you are hopping onto this live stream for the first time, that would be a weird experience, wouldn't it? I always think about that. Like, what do people think when they just pull up with this church live stream?
Until the next time you join, then you'd be like, oh, that's normal.
Oh, right. That's how they do. That's how they do. This is what we do. We just hang out together for about an hour. Hi, Cole.
Hey,
you're usual too.
Just wanted to remind everyone that we've been having some complications the last 2 weeks with the live stream dropping out.
You wanted people to be reminded of that?
No, just only to say that
Warned.
if it happens, just stick around, come back. We'll get it back up online.
Yeah.
And so everybody.
Hang tight.
If it happens and you're on YouTube,
Hopefully
you
it
have to,
doesn't
like,
happen
find
today.
the second
Last week was weird.
video, right?
Oh, yeah. I forgot what I did last week. So I think I
Last
heard
week
there
it
was
dropped
complications.
like 4 times and we just kept having to, and yeah, they were saying on YouTube you have to actually go and find the next video. Facebook, it just reboots you right back in and starts again. But YouTube, you have to like go find the video again.
Where are you? So
Almost
just go to
every
Facebook if it drops.
Yeah.
This is what we're saying.
Because I think the people on YouTube are like the people who are like not on Facebook.
Oh, well,
Maybe, possibly.
yeah, it's fair.
Love y'all. So glad you're here this morning. We're going to meditate and sing and chat and have a
Yay.
good time. Love y'all.
Welcome.
There's always an unexpected bumper. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Well, you can hold my hand when you need to let go. I can be a mountain when you're feeling valley low. I could be a street light showing you the way home. If you could hold my hand when you need to let go. Whoa, I want a house with a crowded table and a place by the fire for everyone. Let us take on the world while we're young and able, and bring us back together when the day is done. If we want a garden, we're gonna have to sow the seeds, plant a little happiness, let the roots run deep. If it's love that we give, then it's love that we reap. And if we want a garden, we're gonna have to sow the seed. Yeah, I want a house with a crowded video screen and a place by the pink fire for everyone. Let us take on the world while we're young and able, and bring us back together when the day is done. The door is always open, your picture's on my wall. Everyone's a little broken, and everyone belongs. Yeah, everyone belongs. Well, I want a house with a crowded table and a place by the fire for everyone. Let us take on the world while we're young and able, bring us back together when the day is done. Bring us back together when the day is done.
Morning again. Part of why we do church every single week is to practice grounding ourselves in the truth of who we are. And so we do that through song, and we do that through messages and different spiritual practices. And this morning we're just going to take a quick moment to meditate, just take some deep breaths around a mantra, and just really ground ourselves in the truth of who we are. I'm going to prompt us by sharing a little bit about what I've been thinking about this week with Ash Wednesday. We celebrated on the church calendar Ash Wednesday this week. And historically, the mantra we use for Ash Wednesday is, for you are dust, and to dust you will return. And also historically, that mantra is used to conjure up images of reminding us of our mortality, and also, strangely, it is used as a practice to remind us that we need to be reconciled to God, right? So people repent and confess their sins and remind themselves that they are a sinner and that they are going to die someday. And it is thought to be a solemn practice. What's interesting for me and what I was meditating on this week, and what I want to offer you this morning, is that when I hear the words, the mantra, for you are dust, and to dust you will return, I don't hear anything solemn in that. Not that there's anything wrong with solemn, but I get this burst of joy. To me, I hear, for you are part of oneness. And when you do die someday, you'll just return to that oneness. Like, we're from the dust, and so is everybody else, and that is where we'll all return. Like, how little respect we have for dust, that this feels solemn to us, that this feels like some dark truth about who we are. It is the most gorgeous, astounding truth about who we are, that we are all one, that we come from this earth, like planet Earth. We belong to it. We come from the ground, the soil, the earth, and from stardust. You are love. And to that great big expanse of love, you will return. This is what I hear when I hear, for you are dust, and to dust you will return. I hear, you are from love, and to love you will return. And it is astonishing to me. I hear, you're a freaking miracle. So could we just take a moment to be astonished by the fact that we exist on planet Earth right now, that we have breath? Let's take a deep breath in together and be grounded in that truth. You are love, and to that great, big, expansive love, you will return. Deep breath in. Your existence is just astonishing. It's a miracle. You are love, and to love, you will return. Let's be grounded in that truth together today. Amen.
Lost and weary traveler, searching for the way to go. Stranger, heavy-hearted, longing for someone you know. Well, may you find a light. May you find a light. May you find a light to guide you home. There are weary travelers searching everywhere you go. Strangers who are searching, longing deeply lost and weary traveler, searching for the way to go. Stranger, heavy-hearted, longing for someone you know. May you find a light. May you find a light. May you find a light to guide you home. May you find a light. May you find a light. May you find a light to guide you home.
I do.
Oh no, I'm not out of frame yet.
Oh, no.
Oh no. Hi.
Matthew and Isa pointed out that sweater, when you're back there and you look on the live stream, it looks like you're wearing a very fancy,
Like suit jacket.
suit jacket.
Ooh.
Like
Well,
totally different outfit. Than
I mean,
don't tell him I'm not.
Matthew came fancy
fucking
today.
Do-do-do.
All right. I picked some cards. Are we ready?
Yeah. we
Questions
just
go
see
there.
the comments there.
All right.
Cool. All right. What we doing, Anissa?
I've always wondered if it's normal to. ...
That's really great.
Okay, you guys ready for this one for me? I've always wondered if
You
it's
have an answer
normal
prepared.
to like make faces in the mirror. Like when you're like, I like talking in the mirror. Like I will like watch myself talk. And also occasionally I will eat in front of the mirror. Like I'm like, what do I look like when I'm chewing? So there you are.
Guys, this is my best
This
friend.
is my
I love her so much.
and I kind of have this thing.
Please let her know if she's normal or not.
Please help me. So also to be fair, I shouldn't tell her secret, but my oldest child does this and so then I thought to myself, is this normal? Do other people do this? Or is it
Or if I
Frankie
just modeled it for
and
my
myself?
child.
Yeah. It's Frankie and me against the world when it comes to this. So if you guys
She's
yeah,
always wondered.
I've always
let
wondered.
her know.
So you can let me know and also
She can wonder no more. Oh my god.
okay, what about you? Or do you guys have do we already have do folks already have answers? I'm looking, I can't see.
I think everyone knows mine. Just basically like, is it normal to spend all day, every day asking the deepest, darkest questions about life? You know? What does
Yeah.
it all mean?
What's normal? It's fine.
What's normal? Does everybody think about death every day?
Someone has to. I can't find everyone else's answers. Let's see.
I got us, guys.
See, Heidi makes faces in the mirror. Heidi says Heidi makes faces in the mirror.
Oh, you feel so
so
seen
is
right
Gregoire.
now.
Oh my gosh, Greg makes faces in the mirror. Super normal.
Super
Also,
normal.
but then Michelle said normal's overrated, so maybe maybe none
Who
of us are
knows?
normal. All right.
Colby asks, is it normal to assume people are always looking at you all the time? If you're an
Based
Enneagram
on-
If we're
3,
an Enneagram 3.
all Enneagram 3s in the house are like, if Karen
Yes.
was here, she would have you.
Yeah.
She's not.
What else? Let's see. I can't.
Oh, right. Duh.
Oh, I don't know how to do that.
Um,
All right.
Shane asks, is it normal to talk to yourself regardless of who is around?
I think so.
Yeah. 100%. Just like kind of narrate your life out loud.
Yeah.
Heck
Makes
yeah.
sense. This makes sense to
Heck
me.
yeah, heck yeah. Oh, scrolling.
Oh, you can see the comments over there.
Yeah.
Because I'm still new to the thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Robert says, I've always wondered if it's normal to change up words to make them more fun, like saying esco-o-ndi.
Escone. I can't say it.
I can't say your fun word, Robert. So no, not normal. Just kidding. I love that though. That's super fun. I think so. Colby does that all the time.
all the time.
That's a yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
is it normal to pet the bolts of fabric at Joann's and then tell them your plans?
Yeah, Irma.
Yes.
Totally normal.
I think Matthew was sincere.
Yeah, Matthew's totally
You tell
with
them
you, Irma.
it's the telling the plans part that.
You want me to bring you my selection right now?
Oh my goodness, we just pet them.
Yes.
Also, definitely normal to make up songs to sing to your dogs, Mark.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then Greg is like, is it normal to narrate your life as a musical with a whole cast of characters? Yes.
Yeah.
Look, if that's not normal, then I don't want to be normal.
I know. I don't want to be normal.
I mean, I don't want to be normal anyway, so.
Oh.
Oh, we've got a few people who touch the bolts of fabric.
Oh.
We've got fabric bolters.
Like new name. We're making up names for people.
Nora, you know what? I don't think normal as in like most humans, if that's what we're using as normal.
Oh, yeah.
But there are those of us out there who have that thing. Yes.
Yeah.
I've always thought that it comes from trauma, but maybe not. Maybe just some of us have that. Make up stories about your neighbors' lives as you watch them through the window. Hashtag creeper.
Although
I like that she added her own like hashtag.
We're just aware. We're just aware. We spent some time at La Jolla Shores people watching for like an hour, making up stories about those people and what they were doing there.
That's one of my favorite things to do. Yeah.
There's a whole couple we made up and they were on a first date. It was very awkward. But who knows what they really were doing.
Who knows what they were really doing? That is one of my favorite activities. I love it. Do you want to pull another?
Yeah, I'm ready for another
like
card.
Saying hi from all these places
I'm gonna
where they're at. Hi, everybody.
I just looked at all the cards I decided. All right, you ready? A scent that makes me nostalgic. A scent that makes me.
I want to know what Candace thought for the last 20 years but gets wrong. What was that in reference to?
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, just kidding. Then we're not doing that.
Did
Ignore
we
it.
really?
All right, well then.
Oh, yeah, we did. do that.
Something.
Sorry.
Did we do this one?
I'm sure you know.
Something I wish I had been told as a child.
Oh gosh.
More like something I wish I had not been told as a child.
Can you ask my mom to log off? For
Dun, dun, dun. Making it weird.
Oh
have yours
gosh,
locked and
I
loaded?
don't. I don't have a locked and loaded one for this. I wish that I had been told.
I mean, how long do we have?
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. It can also be something you wish you have not been told. I'm just making up new rules.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, I wish I had not been told like scary things. I wish I had not been told that like everything was basically tied to like my morality. That would make my life much simpler. Like everything that I do is like tied to
Everyone in the
whether
room.
I'm a good person.
We were all like, yes, that. I'll do a more like, I was thinking last night we were talking about kids jumping on furniture and the whole like when they're little you're like yeah, I mean they're little and then they get to be like 100 pounds and then they're still jumping on furniture and you're like they're breaking everything. But anyway, in that I was sharing that I've always been super protective of our kids being able to jump on everything, like don't tell them not to, like let them do it. And I realized it's coming from my childhood of constantly being told to sit still and keep your, everything about your posture, like keep it all formal and proper. And like, I just wasn't allowed to jump and run and be the wild, rambunctious. Yeah. Like, when people see little boys, they're always like, oh, boys, like so much energy and whatever. That was me growing up as a kid. And, I know your little girls too.
Like, that's our kids.
But it was like trained out of me. And so I guess I wish I had been told like, of course, run, jump.
Yeah.
What's Vicky saying?
What?
Kids can read and
Vicky, what's happening?
She just wishes she'd known that.
I mean,
Because you thought.
Someone had told you that.
Hey, I think I understand. Because if you think that all eggs are baby chicks, then that's traumatizing. And then you want to know, like, oh, these are not. This is just breakfast.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you guys are all sharing beautiful answers, though.
I know.
Oh,
yes. I like.
Missy here in the house says, I wish I'd been told that it was just fine that God made me gay.
maybe even better. Maybe even like.
Colby says, yeah, better. I wish I'd been told that it's okay to fail, okay to not be the best, okay to not always hold it all together. I wish I'd been told, Cameron says, that God made me in God's image and it all belongs. Love that.
Like Greg's mental health is health equals
And
health.
Where's that?
It's up.
Oh, it's up further. Okay, well.
You don't have to find it.
Thank
Don't
you for
go
saying it
find
out
it.
loud. Finding it in the comments. Yeah.
Yes.
That diversity and differences in people are incredibly beautiful and should be celebrated, not judged.
So
Heather Lynn
good.
says she wished she'd received her diagnosis as ADHD as a child. A lot of folks in our generation, I think, feel you on that, love, with all
sure.
kinds of different diagnoses and understandings of ourselves. I wasn't told explicitly about having your period. People use softer language instead of just flat out explained what would happen.
Yeah. Everyone should know.
Yes, thank you, Nora. Yes.
Yeah, for all genders.
Yes,
Yeah.
everyone. Everyone needs to know.
Mhm.
Oh, that my voice.
Oh my
can't
gosh,
see me.
Vicky, you just are cracking me up.
She's the best. Oh, I also wish I had been told that I
I'm
could
just
eat
putting
cereal.
every comment up because these are the answers to
know.
this one are beautiful.
They're so great.
Oh,
My not so serious one is that I wish that I'd been told I could eat cereal whenever I wanted. It would just have made things.
hey, Colby, can we share your one that's like Vicky's about movies that you told us yesterday?
Oh, sure.
Can I share it for you?
Baby.
Colby wishes that when he was a child, someone would have told him that
Uh-oh.
this to me, this is just my favorite thing in the entire world. When people die in movies, they're not actually dying. They didn't put an ad out in the paper saying if someone's ready to die, come act out this death in this movie.
Colby. Colby.
That is legit what my sweet husband
Oh
thought
my
when he was a kid.
gosh. How long did you think this, Colby?
I don't know.
Okay, it's fine. I'm so sorry. I just learned.
He was 2 years old when he found out.
Oh, it's the best.
I just want to keep putting up everyone's answers to this one.
I know.
He says, wow, you and I's experience of watching Predator so many times.
Oh my gosh.
So many people for this movie. Just one
Are we good or do you want to do one more?
Let's do one more.
Okay.
This is fun. I'm having fun.
I'm having fun.
And if I'm
right.
having fun, then we should keep going.
All right. Have we done this one?
Oh no. This could go.
Listen, no one's going to share like too deep, I don't think, but we'll see. Yeah, it's wrong crowd. I'm the most judgmental when it comes to.
Dot, dot, dot. Be kind, everyone.
Yeah, no, be kind. Yeah, right? Be kind.
Brave and
brave.
kind. Yeah. I'm the most judgmental when it comes to driving.
Oh, yeah. that's true.
100%. I mean, that's boring, but true. I just think that everyone out there on the road is a mean, horrible person. And dumb.
Maddie says dumb. Oh man, I'm the most judgmental. No, I didn't mean to look at you. Well, okay, so this stems from a thing that happened recently, but when I'm concerned, when I'm concerned about people's children. When I'm out, which is ridiculous because my kids are always doing crazy, weird things. But it was very, very windy and we were at the beach and there was a small child. I couldn't tell if it was a small child. Wait,
I think we're back on. It's a super fun face that you guys
I know.
I know.
We just hold it. Oh, we're back. All right.
Are we? Oh, okay. That was quick at
We're
least.
coming back. We're
Gosh,
back.
I hate it when that happens. I'm so sorry. I hope y'all find it. I can see the number coming back up. Y'all are finding us again. Poor YouTubers. All the work they have to do. And then we lose the comments, but I've got them here on my phone.
Oh, yeah,
They're
grammar.
lost there, but we have them here.
Grammar was one from, who said grammar? Oh, Candace says punctuation.
Yeah.
Mercy says judgmental people.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to put on the screen right when we got frozen. That made me laugh.
That's
too.
fair. Let's see.
Oh my gosh, Jazz. People who have no self-awareness. LOL. If you can't judge you, I guess I will.
Somebody has to.
A lot of folks said themselves, like they're the most judgmental with themselves. I think that's
fair.
also true
That's
for
true.
me, yeah, and probably everyone, all of us. All
Mostly
right.
because I think people are watching me.
I think we have to stop collective conversation because
Okay.
apparently it makes the feed freeze.
No.
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 But we can stop for now.
Love y'all. It's been great.
I didn't need the capo. Hi. I made y'all wait a really long time while I was getting my guitar ready, and then it turns out I didn't need to do that. I wish my heart was a hammer. I'd put you back together, but it's just a heart like yours. If my hands were a paddle, I'd pull you through this trouble, but they're just hands like yours. Here's what these hands can do, be here to hold you, and when you lose your way, here's what my heart would say. When love comes back and love comes back and love comes back around, yeah. When words are a rainstorm, the lightning crash, the thunder roar, they're just words like yours. And when that storm is through, new words will find you, and what those words will say, you're gonna be okay, 'cause love comes back. Your eyes were a window. I could see the me that you know, but they're just eyes like mine. And love comes back, and love comes back, and love comes back around. Oh, love comes back. Comes back. Don't cry, you're mine for forever, for forever. I need you now more than ever, more than ever. Head full of lies in my eyes, you make it easy. Don't look away, these are the days you gotta believe me. When we're lost in a desert night and we're chasing our paradise, when we can't fight another fight, we're gonna make it. You're my oasis. You're my oasis. For each other, across lines, mistakes, there's no other, there's no other. Head full of lies, sun in my eyes, you make it easy. Said nowhere to go, I'm already home, you gotta believe me. When we're lost in a desert night and we're chasing our paradise, when we can't fight another fight, we're gonna make it.
Yeah, it's fine. I need to make that bumper like 7 seconds longer to allow for transition. The mindful moment bumper is a good 30 seconds. Really gives us time for transition. Thanks for hanging in there with us as the expected yet still unexpected drop of the signal. Still don't know what is the deal there, but we've got our tech team working on it. Okay. Yeah, great. I have something I want to share with you this morning. Maybe before we begin, just to remind ourselves of the moment of where we're at. I invite you to take a breath in with me and out. All right. Well, friends, next week is actually our church's 8-year anniversary. Reminder, we've got an after-church picnic / party that we want you all to come to. But over the last 8 years, our community has kind of dipped in and out of a lot of things related to the religion of Christianity, like specifically the church calendar. We've had some years in the past where we've really let the church calendar and its seasons and the lectionary be our guide. And then we've had other years where things are kind of more of an afterthought. This week in the church calendar is the season of Lent. And Kate and I were talking about that this week, and we were asking each other, why Lent? What value might it serve our Sojo community? Is it something that we really want to give any mind to this year? And to answer that question, I think I want to start with the question, well, what is Lent? Let's start there first. And so the generic answer is this. Lent is the season of the year designated by the Christian religion, marking out the weeks leading up to Easter. Traditionally, it's been a time of preparation for the high holy day of Good Friday and Easter. In the past, it's been a time where new converts to the faith would get acclimated to all things Christian before officially joining the church through their baptism. And it was also a time where previous members of the community or the church who had maybe fallen away from the community used the time of Lent as a way to kind of return to the fold, and they would prepare to renew their commitment. But if you wanted to get any more specific than that, it's really going to depend on things like, which version of Christianity are we talking about? Roman Catholics are going to give one answer about what Lent is, which will be different from Eastern Orthodox, which will be different from Lutherans, and so on. And it's going to depend on which time in history you're asking about, meaning there really wasn't anything officially called, quote unquote, Lent for the first few centuries. But if you go back far enough, you can find evidences of early rituals and practices that the earliest church did that then later became more formally organized and institutionalized. And honestly, that's the case with pretty much everything in our religion. There's a kernel of something at the root, and then over the course of 2,000 years, it has morphed, it has evolved, it's taken various shapes and forms as layers of institution and formalization have been added on top of this original thing. Now, I realize that might sound like I'm being cynical or negative, and I'm really not. I'm just naming the reality that time changes everything. Nothing, or at least I would argue very little, very little that we believe or practice as Christians today is identical to that first generation of Christians. And that might sound odd at first, but then just consider your own life. I imagine that what you believe and how you practice your faith today is very different from 5, 10, 20 years ago. And I think if that's true on an individual level for pretty much all of us, then why wouldn't it also be true for something like a global religion that has traversed its way through 2 millennia, 7 continents, and multiple earth-shifting epochs? Epochs? I don't like that word. I prepared for it and I still butchered it. How do y'all pronounce E-P-O-C-H? Epochs. I don't think it's epic. I think it's...
There, you got it.
It's one of those.
Then why'd you ask us?
How do you guys pronounce it? Wrong. Okay, so anyway, so our religion has traversed 2,000 years. One people say, no, keep looking. I don't trust it. Trust the dictionary.com? No. Okay. Multiple earth-shifting epochs, like... Okay, we'll recover. All I'm trying to say is things like the Enlightenment, the Industrial Revolution, the invention of the internet, these are like global earth-shattering phenomenons, and it's going to change something like a religion. That's really the point I'm getting here. And I'm really digressing from the main point. The main point here is that Lent is the season in the church calendar that takes us up to Holy Week. The crucifixion on Good Friday, the Day of Death on Holy Saturday, and the celebration of resurrection on Easter. And traditionally, this time of Lent is used for reflection, introspection, and preparation. Okay, that's great, but the question still remains, should we here at Sojo in the year 2022 pay the season of Lent any mind? And if so, in what way? And my answer to that is yes. Although it'd be funny if I was like, no, let's go to communion. End of talk. But before I get into the how we're going to do Lent this year, first, I want to talk a bit about the wilderness. Mike. The idea of the wilderness appears a lot in the Bible. It serves as like the setting for encounters with the divine, as well as a kind of metaphor for where you might end up if you feel disconnected from God. And Kate mentioned this a couple weeks ago, that somehow the wilderness can be both a place where you can feel connected to and or separate from God. Because sometimes we might associate God or God's presence or God's blessing with things like creature comforts or material prosperity or physical health. And so when those things are stripped from us, we feel naked and exposed, we feel alone, we feel afraid. And so sometimes, like David hiding in the caves of Adullam, we feel like wandering in the wilderness is a sign that we've been abandoned by or disconnected from the divine. But then there's other times that we might experience the wilderness as a beneficial stripping away of all the things that distract us, of all that pretends to fulfill us, of all the things that play lowercase g gods for us. And we're left with nothing but ourselves and the eternal presence within. And so sometimes, like Moses stumbling upon the burning bush, it's really only in the wilderness that we can find God. And so you might say that the wilderness is merely this backdrop for an invitation. It's like a blank canvas where you get to decide what gets projected on the walls. Who's to say if this current wilderness is a sign of you being either connected to or disconnected from God? Well, you are, I think. If you want it to be, the wilderness can be the very place to hear from God. In fact, in the Hebrew language, the word for desert, or often translated as wilderness, is the 4 consonants MDBR, because in the Hebrew language, there's no vowels. MDBR, translated as desert or wilderness, and is pronounced midbar. And at the same time, the Hebrew word for speaking, wait for it, is MDBR. The same 4 consonants, but this one's pronounced medbar. So it's no wonder then that all throughout the Bible, we see these intersections of people meeting with and hearing from God in the desert, in the wilderness, as though these are somehow intimately connected. Okay, one more quick thing about the wilderness. I believe the wilderness is not intended to be a final destination. The wilderness is meant to be like a temporary situation, a sojourn en route to something different, something new, something else. So understood this way, you might even say that the wilderness is a time of preparation where God might feel absent, but in actuality, it was God who led you there. It was God who speaks to you. It was God who provides and guides in the wilderness. After all, that's one of the points, I think, of the story of the ancient Israelites wandering the wilderness for 40 years as preparation for entering the promised land. Though they felt forgotten and dismayed, they always had manna for daily sustenance, and they always had pillars of clouds and fires to guide them. And then in the New Testament, there's another story, also with the number 40, and also connecting it to the wilderness. And this is the story is most often connected to the season of Lent. And we read about this story in the Gospel of Matthew. First, Jesus is baptized by John, and then second, right afterwards, we read this in Matthew 4, verse 1. Then the Spirit led Jesus into the wilderness so that the devil might tempt him. After Jesus had fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, he was, rightfully so, starving. And you know the story from there, how the devil tempts Jesus 3 different times with 3 different offers on ways to sort of shortcut the process of transformation and growth. And each time Jesus turns him down. And then Jesus ends up leaving the wilderness after those 40 days and 40 nights and heads to Galilee. And then in verse 17, we read, from that time, Jesus began to announce, change your hearts and lives, for here comes the kingdom of heaven. For Jesus, that time in the wilderness was a time of preparation for what was to come. But even more than that, as the author of Matthew wrote, it was the Spirit who led him there. And then it was God who sustained him throughout. And here's why I bring all this up about the wilderness, because ultimately, as I understand it, as the authors of Gospels like Matthew tell it, Jesus wasn't just preparing for his public ministry. He was ultimately, in my opinion, preparing for the end. Preparing for what was to come, preparing, as it turns out, for death. Of course, his followers didn't realize this, and perhaps Jesus didn't entirely either, but certainly the author of Matthew had the entire picture of the puzzle already assembled for him as he looked back, and so he put the pieces of the puzzle together in a particular way to tell a kind of story. The author knew where this story was heading. He knew the epic conclusion on the cross. He knew that after all the traveling from village to village, announcing the kingdom of God, challenging the Pharisees, forgiving people of their sins, restoring people back to community life, casting a vision for a new way to be human, after all of that, he knew it was leading to death. And so maybe we might see all of that as a kind of preparation for death. But the death of what? What kind of death are we talking about here? Other than just the bodily death of Jesus hung on a cross like a common criminal, I also see this as a kind of death of the followers of Jesus, of their religious ideas, hopes, and expectations. That's kind of what died on the hill of Golgotha. Beliefs that Jesus was going to overthrow the Romans and rally the Jews as some sort of military leader, a belief that the end of days was imminent, a belief that Jesus was the kind of Messiah that they were longing for. These are the things that died on the cross that day. And you and I, we get the gift of insight, or hindsight, to look back and to know that eventually all of those dashed expectations, all of those dissolved beliefs would eventually be replaced by a much bigger and broader and deeper and more inclusive and more whole vision. But at the time, that certainly was not clear by any stretch of the imagination. So here's how I'm thinking about Lent this year, and here's how Kate and I want to invite our community into this season this year. Lent is like this annual reenactment of a journey into the wilderness where we prepare for a death. Specifically, perhaps the death of our religion. Though they had no idea where the path was leading them, by following Jesus, those original men and women were marching straight toward the death of their religious ideas, hopes, and expectations. And y'all, if there's one thing many of us here at Sojourn have in common, it's a shared understanding and experience of the death of our religious ideas, hopes, and expectations. So this year for Lent, we want to invite all of us into the wilderness to reenact this journey toward the death of our religion. What that's going to mean is this: over the next few weeks leading up to Easter, and who knows, maybe we'll go beyond if it's going really well. I don't know. We're going to write letters to past versions of ourselves for the purpose of preparing us for the upcoming death of our religion. We're going to call this series Saying Goodbye. Preparing for the death of our religion. You're going to hear letters from me. You're going to hear letters from Kate. Next week on our anniversary, Kate and I are going to write letters together, preparing ourselves for the death of the church, our ideas of church. We're going to hear letters from leaders here in our Sojourn community, and eventually we're going to invite you all to write and perhaps even submit your own letters as well. And the goal of these letters will be to, as I mentioned, to give our past selves a bit of a heads up of what's coming down the road. We'll write letters that say goodbye to, and then name something about our religious ideas or hopes or expectations that are soon going to be put to death. But also, we're going to cast a vision for what's going to come out of the ashes. When Kate and I were discussing this week about this season of Lent, she texted me these words as she was processing Lent, and she said, what if we think about Lent like this? What would you do if you knew that death and resurrection were on their way? What if Lent is our time to prepare ourselves for that kind of transformation? So we invite you to join us over the coming weeks as we look back on our own journeys of transformation, our own times in the wilderness. And may we reflect together upon the parts of our religion that had to die so that something new and more beautiful could emerge. Sound good? I'll assume you'll type yes and I'll see it in 15 seconds. All right, we're going to transition to communion. So grab your elements and we'll trigger the bumper and we'll do communion.
Are we back? Oh, cool. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I can't see you. So. Give me your heart, give me your song, sing it with all your might. Come to the fountain, you can be satisfied. There is a peace, there is a love, you can get lost inside. Come to the fountain, let me hear you testify. Into the wild, the canyons of you. Oh, there's a world to fall into. The weightless will dance like kids on the moon. Oh, and I will give myself to you as soon as you start to let go. Give me your heart, give me your song, sing it with all your might. Come to the fountain. The song was going too slow anyway, so I'm glad we got cut out because we can reset now. So, wave after wave, as deep calls too deep. Oh, well, I'll reveal my mystery as soon as you start. Let's let go. Give me your heart, give me your song, sing it with all your might. Come to the fountain and you can be satisfied. There is a peace, there is a love, you can get lost inside. Come to the fountain, let me hear you testify. There is a peace, there is a love, you can get lost inside. Come to the fountain, let me hear you testify. A mist on the mountain, rising from the ground. Yeah, there's no denying beauty makes a sound. Just can't escape it now, but there's no way to doubt it. Mist on the mountain rising all around. Give me your heart, give me a song, sing it with all your might. Come to the fountain, you can be satisfied. There is a peace, there is a love, you can get lost inside. Come to the fountain, let me hear you testify. Yeah, there is a peace, there is a love, you can get lost inside. Come to the fountain, let me hear you testify.
Yeah, we came back. I don't know how long we'll stay, but we're here for now.
No idea what's gonna happen.
Said that really weird.
I'm bringing
Now.
up. Your leg is stuck.
Nothing. We're good.
Dancing. Bringing up a giant box of donuts for communion, which when we said we were going to communion, someone new who hasn't been with us and doesn't know how we do communion was like, "Oh, communion, I don't have elements." And then y'all explained to them in the comments that at Sojo you get to just take communion with anything and everything. And
Thanks for taking care of each other out there.
Oh yeah, and then she says, "Oh, that's awesome. I have coffee and an orange. Perfect. How we do?
That
I've
works.
got my. What do you got for? You got coffee?
I have a coffee from Phil's Coffee. This is Julie's Ultimate blend.
Phil's, but Julie's.
Yeah, what's the name of
Phil's
the blend?
Julie's?
Julie's Ultimate.
Which donut do you want?
I want the old fashioned.
One of the things that we have said goodbye to is the idea that someone's got to die for us to be one with God and the universe and each other. We don't need any bloody sacrifice. I meant that in like the British bloody.
Swearing way. I assumed.
But we still take communion because sometimes when you say goodbye to something, when you have a death to a religious idea, continuing to do the practice anyway is such a beautiful way to make sure that that religious idea really dies, right? So we take communion every week to be like, death to that idea that someone's got to die, that there's got to be a sacrifice that we have to believe in, and almonds and tea.
Cocoa pebbles
Love
and
it.
water.
Oh, nice.
Like you ran out of milk, so the water. You didn't pour the water in. These are separate. These are dry cocoa pebbles and drinking
think so.
water.
I think
I mean,
so.
it all belongs, but that would be weird.
I think so. Growing up, my little brother was very allergic to milk, so he poured all kinds of weird
Tea
things
and
in his
crumpets.
cereal, like juice and yeah.
Those are options.
Because we didn't have great non-milk options in the 80s.
Chickpea salt and lime tortilla chip
Ooh,
with water.
Yum. Yum, yum.
Birthday cake. Lilia, whose birthday?
Do you
was your
all
birthday
in the
this
house
week?
want to? Oh, happy birthday, birthday twin.
Home carbonated.
not twin,
Home
because a few days
carbonated
apart.
sparkling cider. That's
Do y'all
fun.
want to partake in communion with donut? Yes. Anybody?
Come to the camera. You can be
Two
testified.
chocolates left. Yay.
All right, take whatever you have as your bread, as your food element.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
And may we all take this together, imagining all the people around the world in this feed eating together as a way to stay connected even through technology, even when it drops and fails occasionally, as it does. Thanks for your patience.
Thanks for still
Take and
being
eat. You are all part of the fam. What makes an old-fashioned an old-fashioned? Is this just how they used to make all the donuts? That's how they used to make them? Dry and boring? Aw.
We're falling apart over here, guys.
Now take what you have as your cup element, and may you take and remember what Kate just said, which is that you are not disconnected from the divine. Though you may feel in a wilderness, remember, perhaps it's the wilderness where it's the best place to find the very God you seek. Take and receive. All right.
Oh my gosh, Jazz.
What's up? What's up?
Leftover plant-based ragu over polenta with an egg and arugula and fennel from my garden. And a coffee smoothie. I want that communion.
Well played.
Well played.
What's your birthday today, Lilia? Happy birthday today. Okay, we've got a few house notes.
This is the part where we all
Oh,
You
and
can come back on
Heidi,
the
who we referenced
cameras.
earlier, said, I like this communion. I'll admit, I started having anxiety when I saw there was communion. Yeah, we all feel you around that.
Thanks for sharing
We got
that,
you.
by the way. Thanks for sharing all of it. Thanks for sharing that you didn't know how to participate so that people could be with you in that. So I love it. I love it. All right. The things we want to say about this are first, if we've got a joy box. Yeah, that was. Thank you, Matthew.
I was directing traffic.
Yeah, you did great. You did great. yeah, if you want to support Sojourn Grace through financial contributions, you can do that at sojourngrace.com/donate, or you can Venmo at Sojourn Grace, and all of your contributions go to support our mission here of fostering spiritual, social, and emotional wholeness. Thank you for your support. Second up is next week. I mentioned this earlier, but next week is our 8th anniversary. And so, yeah, good wooing. And so after Virtual Church, so we'll still have Virtual Church, then we're going to head to Mission Valley here in San Diego at Savita Park at 12:30. And bring food to share. Bring something to share. We'll set up a few tables, and we'll get to see each other IRL, because it's been a minute for many of us. And we'll get to kind of just hang out and party together. Do you have anything else you want to add to that?
What?
No, I realized I made a face, and then I made a face, and I was like, don't make a face. There's a lot of face.
She's just doing her
It was
normal
face
make
making
faces in the mirror at you.
Anissa's like, I can see myself.
I was like, oh no. What am I doing?
What do I look like when I eat?
Okay, then let's see. What do we have? Yes, we got groups coming up. So groups, some of them are starting this week, some are starting next week. So this is kind of the last chance to register to get in at the ground level. Not to say that you can't perhaps
course, you
join
can
a
always
group
join.
later, especially community groups, which are designed to be ongoing groups. But I'm trying to pronounce
Groups.
How do you say it?
It's epic.
Someone look it up.
We're never letting that go, ever.
I just think there's more conversation to be had about that.
I think so too.
Thank you. Okay. But here, stay with these here, people. We're almost done. We've got each of the group leaders are going to introduce themselves and then share a bit about what their group's about. So first, let's introduce you to Vicky and Alyssa and their community group happening in La Mesa.
Like right now. Neat.
Well, they're so cute.
Hi, I'm Vicky.
And I'm Alyssa, and we want to invite you to our community group that's going to be meeting via Zoom on Thursdays. We'll have some occasional in-person time as well to build community. And we mostly process what happens on Sundays and figure out together how to support each other and applying it to our lives. We look forward to having you join us.
Bye.
Oh, they're so cute.
And now Jen Hamilton.
Hello, my name is Jen Hamilton, and I will be the leader of Drinks, Apps, and Connections Community Group. Jeremy and I have been a part of Sojourn for the last 8 months or so, and I just love how it's a healthy place for people to heal and to find connection. The community group will meet on Wednesdays at 5:30 at rotating restaurants and bars, so it's going to be a little bit non-traditional. And we will provide the appetizers at each location, and we're going to host it in kind of a casual get-to-know-you style of gathering. And then during the week, we will connect through the Marco Polo app and discuss the previous Sunday sermon's topic. This app is a video chat style where you can respond on your own time when it's convenient for you. So if Wednesdays at 5:30 work for you, we'd love to see you there. Bye.
And real quick, back there, who played keys today? That's the Jeremy of the Jeremy and Jen Hamilton. So thank you, Jeremy, for you and Jen and your work on that.
If I
Okay,
stand up, I can't.
you're doing great. Next group is Candace's.
Hi, I'm Candace, and I've been going to Sojo for about 5 months since moving down from LA, and I'm going to be leading the moral injury group. Moral injury is a concept that is coming from psychology, kind of related to trauma, but not exactly the same thing. And it can happen in spiritual contexts and all sorts of other places when you've experienced betrayal or kind of been forced into some sort of behavior that violates your own beliefs and values. And one of the common side effects of experiencing something like that is a feeling that you're losing your faith, you're not trusting yourself, not able to trust God or whatever you believe in, and that spiritual things can become very difficult. So our group is going to be focused on organizing that experience, understanding what moral injury is, just sort of like normalizing what's happened to us, and then beginning to look at what is repair and what is recovery from that. It may or may not involve, believing the same things that we believed in the past or feelings of faith kind of coming back online. But we're going to explore all that sort of stuff in just a few weeks. So it gives you kind of a quick experience of, organizing your story and what happened to you. We'll be focused on spiritual practices if we choose to use them, as well as a little bit of the psychology and group discussion and things like that. So come join.
Hi, I'm Susan Nemi, and I have been going to Sojo for almost 3.5 years.
Hi, I'm Sammy Moran, and I've been going to Sojo for almost 4 years.
We will be co-leading the women's group. She will be with me, discussion and practices using Karen Thurston's Gilmore's journal. She will be with me, A Love Letter to My Body, illustrated by Carrie Gale. This journal is designed to reintroduce you to your body. The hope is that by tending to and practicing an intentional appreciation of the body you live in, you might begin to trust, value, and recognize it. And that's a quote from the back of the book.
So this group will be meeting every Tuesday from 6:30 to 8 p.m. every other week. We plan on discussing each section for 2 meetings, and there will be a total of 8 sections in the journal. But we want this to be fluid depending on the group's needs.
We see this both as an individual and group experience. We look forward to seeing how each person responds to the prompts, whether it is through writing, making art, an audio journal, writing poetry, and so on.
And then we will gather to share, create practices, do meditations, breath work, emotional support, and laughter. We have 4 spaces left out of 8 members. We hope you will join us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh my gosh.
How fun is that? Isn't that great? That's so good.
Because it's so good.
And then I'll be leading a virtual group every other Tuesday starting this week, so in like 48 hours-ish, going through Rob's book, What is the Bible? And so if that interests you, we're going to take about 10 sessions spread out over the next few months to go through that
Your
book
group
together.
has a lot of people in it. I was like, wow, a lot of people want to know what
filled.
is the Bible.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
It's a good book.
Well, because it's virtual, we can theoretically hold many more people.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
It'd be great.
So, so that's starting this week, and then yours is also starting this week, correct?
Yes, I'm so excited about my group, y'all. I just really believe in the tight-knit community version of church, and so that's what we're gonna do over at my house. We're just gonna build fires and sit around and talk about life, and we'll do a little bit of liturgical practice, meditation,
Me
and
rubbing sticks together.
praying and sharing, and don't let Colby near the fire. And we're just gonna build community. That's it. That's what we're gonna do. So come join us if you can and want to. If
Okay.
you're looking for that kind of community.
Them are the groups. Go to sojourngrace.com/groups to if you need to remind yourself of what they were or to register. And many of them start this week. Okay. All right. That's it. We did it, right? End of service.
This is good.
Benediction. All right, these are the words that we say at the end of every service together. We've been saying it now for 8 years without missing a beat except for that one Sunday.
Oh my God. You guys,
One Sunday.
Colby and I both had COVID and we were in our garage and we did the church service and we forgot to do the benediction. One service in 8 years, we forgot to do it.
You can let that
People
go.
were like, what is happening?
We don't know.
So the way this works is someone in our community leads out by saying, be brave. And then the rest of us respond by saying, because you're a child of God. And then another person leads out, be kind. And we respond because so is everyone else. Sometimes we let people. We're so gracious. Sometimes people do it virtually. We put your comment on the screen. But since we have some guests this morning, maybe one of our new guests would like to lead us in our benediction.
Be brave.
Because you're a child of God.
Be kind.
Because so is everyone else. We love you. Have a good week. See you next Sunday morning for Verse Church and then for the picnic party afterwards for the anniversary. Okay, we'll go now.